The NFL draft is a pivotal moment for every NFL franchise. So today, I'm going to add one amazing superstar using every NFL draft. The goal is to win a Super Bowl in just one season. We have to fill out the entire roster by using one draft pick from every NFL team. This means we cannot add more than one player drafted by the same NFL team to our roster, which will make this even more challenging. On this wheel are the last 40 NFL draft classes, and after giving the wheel a spin, it's going to land on the 2013 NFL draft. Eric Fisher was the #1 overall pick this year, but luckily there are some better options like Lane Johnson, DeAndre Hopkins, Travis Kelce, and Keenan Allen. This was a tough first choice, but I don't think I could pass up on Travis Kelce, who will go down as the best tight end to ever play in the NFL. Now that we add our first players to the roster, we can no longer add another player that the Chiefs drafted, and the 2013 draft class is removed from the wheel. After spinning the wheel for the second time, we have to pick a player drafted in 2015. There are plenty of players still active in today's NFL from this draft class, like #1 overall pick Jameis Winston, but I decided to add Danielle Hunter to our defense. Since he was drafted by the Minnesota Vikings, that's a team that has knocked off the list, even though he currently plays for the Texans. If we are unable to fill a certain position on the team by the end of the video, I'll be forced to add the lowest rated player at that position, which will ultimately hurt our chances at winning a Super Bowl. Moving into our third spin, the wheel ends up landing on the 1990 NFL Draft. Emmitt Smith is my all-time favorite NFL player, so let's make him our starting running back. And with those three spins, we can no longer use a player drafted by the Chiefs, Vikings, and Cowboys. And after jumping into our next spin, it lands on the 2019 NFL Draft. This draft was loaded with NFL superstars like Nick Bosa, Dexter Lawrence, AJ Brown, and DK Metcalf, just to name a few. But with the 106th pick, the Oakland Raiders selected Max Crosby, who has turned out to be one of the NFL's very best, so let's add him to our defense. Off to a pretty good start, and it's about to get even better with the wheel landing on a 1993 NFL Draft. So many great options like Willie Roaf, Jerome Bettis, and Michael Strahan. But since we already have a running back and two defensive ends, let's bring in Willie Roaf to be the left tackle on our offense. The next wheel spin ends up landing on the 2024 NFL Draft. Still really early in their NFL careers, but I'm going to bring in Marvin Harrison Jr. to play wide receiver for our team. He has already shown that he is capable of making big plays in the NFL. Jumping right into the next wheel spin, and it lands on the 2016 NFL Draft. Tyreek Hill was actually drafted by the Chiefs in the 5th round, but since we already picked Travis Kelce from the Chiefs, the next best option was Jalen Ramsey, who went 5th overall to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he'll be the first cornerback on our team. The next NFL draft class that the wheel lands on is 2009. Matthew Stafford, Brian Orakpo, and Clay Matthews are by far the best players from that draft. Since we can use a linebacker for our team, I'm going with Brian Orakpo, who was drafted by Washington in the 1st round. With 8 NFL teams already knocked off, our offense has Travis Kelce leading the way, while our defense has Max Crosby as the best player so far. After giving the wheel a spin, it lands on the 2020 NFL Draft, and the #1 overall pick that year was Joe Burrow. Absolute no-brainer adding Joe Burrow to be our quarterback. Keeping this going, the next wheel lands on the 2002 NFL Draft. Ed Reed is the only player from this draft that was inducted into the Hall of Fame, so I'm adding him to our defense, knocking out the Bengals and Ravens with those two selections. Spinning the wheel twice this time, and the first one is going to be the 2012 NFL Draft, and then the 2023 draft right after. Andrew Luck and RG3 went #1 and 2 this year, but since we already added Joe Burrow, I decided to add Bobby Wagner, who was drafted by the Seahawks, to join Brian Orakpo at middle linebacker. And as for the 2023 draft, we go with a number of really great players like Will Anderson, Jalen Carter, Jahmyr Gibbs, or even Sam Laporta, but we could really use another cornerback to play alongside Jalen Ramsey, so I elected to add Christian Gonzalez from the Patriots to our team. Let's continue by spinning the wheel, and the next draft we have to pick a player from is going to be 2017. Even though Patrick Mahomes is the best player from this draft, we already used a Chiefs pick. The next best option was Myles Garrett, who was drafted #1 overall by the Cleveland Browns, and he'll join Hunter and Crosby on the defensive line. And right into the next one, it lands on the 2010 NFL Draft. After looking at both our offense and our defense, I think I want to add Maurkice Pouncey, drafted by the Steelers, to be our center. Let's spin the wheel twice here, and the first one lands on the 2004 NFL Draft, followed by the 2014 NFL Draft. Jonathan Vilma was drafted 12th overall by the Jets, and he will join the linebacker core. And as for the 2014 NFL Draft, I'm bringing in Aaron Donald to our defense, and he is arguably one of the best defensive players of our generation. And just like that, we have half the NFL teams accounted for, and our roster started to come along. The offense led by Joe Burrow and Aaron Donald leading the defense. We still have some work to do, and after spinning the wheel, we can add a player from the 1989 NFL Draft. And after scrolling through the best draft picks from 1989, the Atlanta Falcons drafted Deion Sanders, and he'll be joining Jalen Ramsey and Christian Gonzalez as cornerback #1. There are still quite a few NFL drafts on the wheel, and after spinning it twice, it ends up landing on the 1985 NFL Draft and the 2021 NFL Draft right after. Absolute no-brainer for 1985, bringing in Jerry Rice, who's the greatest wide receiver of all time. And as for 2021, I would have loved to add Micah Parsons, but we already used a draft pick from the Cowboys, but I elected to bring in Penei Sewell from the Lions to join our offensive line. And with those two selections, we can no longer use a Niners or Lions draft pick. With just 13 NFL teams remaining, the wheel lands on the 2018 NFL Draft. My options were between Saquon Barkley, Quentin Nelson, or Derwin James. We could use all three, but I elected to add Derwin James to our defense. We are still missing a few offensive linemen, and after giving the wheel a spin, it ends up landing on the 2022 NFL Draft. Unfortunately for our offensive line, there wasn't too many elite options from teams remaining, but I went ahead and added Derek Stingley Jr., who was drafted by the Texans, to join our cornerback room. Speeding this up a bit, the next two wheels land on the 1995 NFL Draft and then the 1996 NFL Draft right after. Since we could use another defensive tackle, let's bring in Warren Sapp to play alongside Aaron Donald. As for the 1996 NFL Draft, John Runyon was the best available option for our team, and he will be the right guard on our offensive line. And with those two players, we can no longer use another drafted player by the Bucs and Titans. Right into the next wheel spin, it lands on the 1988 NFL Draft. And to be honest, I'm not even sure who was drafted this year, but after scrolling through each round, Thurman Thomas was drafted by the Bills in the second round, and he will join Emmitt Smith at running back. And after spinning the wheel once again, we can pick a player from the 2003 NFL Draft. Mike Polamalu would have been a great addition to the team, but we were ready to use a draft pick from the Steelers. So I opted to bring in Charles Tillman, who was drafted by the Bears, to join our already stacked cornerback room. With just 7 NFL teams remaining, the next two wheel spins land on 2006 and 1997. Not many options left from the remaining teams, but I did find Elvis Dumerville from the Broncos to join our linebacker room. And as for 1997, only option was Brett Conway from the Packers to be our kicker. And with that, we use a draft pick from the Broncos and Packers. The next wheel spin lands on the 2011 NFL Draft. This draft was stacked with players like Von Miller, Julio Jones, and J.J. Watt. If we already used a draft pick from their teams, I opted to add Mike Pouncey from the Dolphins to play left guard next to his twin brother. And after spinning the wheel twice, it lands on the 1991 and 1999 NFL Draft. Not many options with the remaining teams, but Ed McCaffrey was drafted by the Giants in the 3rd round, so let's add it to our wide receiver room. And as for the 1999 NFL Draft, the only option was Mike Rucker, who was drafted by the Panthers, and he will join the defensive line. Eagles and Colts are the two remaining teams, so we'll spin the wheel twice here and see the last two draft classes we can use. First, the wheel landed on the 1992 NFL Draft, bringing in Mark McMillian to help our cornerback room, and then the wheel lands on 2001, bringing in Reggie Wayne from the Colts. And just like that, we have used one draft pick from every NFL team, and our offense is looking amazing with Joe Burrow leading the way, while the defense has plenty of superstars. I did have to add the lowest rated fullback and puncher to the team since we were unable to fill those positions. But the question is, can this team win a Super Bowl in just one season? The opening game against the Vikings started off great as Joe Burrow throws a great pass to Emmitt Smith, who takes it for a 52-yard gain. Unfortunately, the team of draft picks couldn't get into the end zone and ended up settling for 3. Even though we only managed to kick 3, the Vikings offense could not get anything going, and after stimming the rest of the first half, we managed to hold a 10-point lead. Early in the second half, Sam Darnold managed to work his offense down the field, and on 3rd down, Darnold finds a wide open TJ Hawkinson to cut the lead to 3. But that didn't last long as Emmitt Smith rushes for a 70-yard touchdown. After getting another defensive stop, Joe Burrow throws a quick pass to Travis Kelce in the end zone to put this game away, winning our opening game of the season. After stimming the rest of the season, the team of draft picks finished with a perfect 17-0 record, which was good enough for the NFL's best record. We now take on the 9-8 Green Bay Packers in the divisional round. And this is a snow game at MetLife Stadium where it was the team of draft picks defense that sacked Jordan Love on 3rd down. On our first drive, Joe Burrow made some great reads, but unfortunately, he ended up taking a hit and fumbling the ball. Luckily for us, our defense held tall as the Packers ended up kicking 3 to take the lead. After stimming the rest of the first half, we managed to score a couple of times, taking an 11-point lead into halftime. And on our opening drive in the second half, Burrow was making some great passes to Ed McCaffrey before Emmitt Smith took the handoff for a 14-yard touchdown. The Packers managed to keep the game close, but the team of draft picks held on to win 35-21 and are now moving on to the NFC Championship game. We now take on the 12-5 Detroit Lions. And on our opening drive, Joe Burrow was absolutely slinging it, and on Detroit's 25-yard line, he connects with Jerry Rice for the first touchdown of the game. And just when it looked like the Lions were about to answer right back, Goff throws to the end zone, but Derwin James is there to intercept the pass. And after stemming all the way to the 4th quarter, the Lions made their way down the field, and Goff connects with Sam Laporta in the end zone for the touchdown. Unfortunately for the Lions, they cannot get a stop on defense, and Joe Burrow shows off his arm by connecting with Travis Kelce for the touchdown. And we go on to take down the Lions in the NFC Championship game. We now take on Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs for the Super Bowl. On the Chiefs' opening drive, Mahomes was making some great reads, and a few plays later, Mahomes throws to the back of the end zone, and DeAndre Hopkins makes a great toe-tap catch to take the early lead. Let's see if Burrow can get his offense right back in this game, and after a few great passes, Burrow throws a quick pass to Reggie Wayne, who hangs onto it for the touchdown. After stimming the rest of the first half, both teams managed to score once again, but we managed to kick 3 to take the lead. The second half immediately kicked off with a 47-yard touchdown pass to Ed McCaffrey to extend our lead to 10. After both teams failed to score on their next couple of drives, Mahomes finds themselves trailing by 10. but manages to work his way down the field, and on 3rd down, Mahomes rolls out, throws off his back foot, and hits his receiver for the touchdown, cutting our lead to just 3. We then immediately answer back with a 60-yard touchdown run by Emmitt Smith. But can Mahomes mount a comeback? And he connects with Noah Gray for a huge game, and a couple of plays later, Mahomes rolls out to the right and throws a beam to his receiver in the end zone once again, cutting the lead back down to 3. Faced with a 3rd and 8, Burrow steps back and throws a great pass over the middle to Jerry Rice for the 1st down. Just before the 2-minute warning, Burrow throws a quick RPO pass to Ed McCaffrey, who breaks off the tackle and runs the rest of the way for a touchdown. And that was enough to take down Mahomes and the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. If you enjoyed this video, you should definitely check out this one right over here. I know you'll enjoy it. On it.